Good morning, developers. If you are new to the channel, my name is Rob, and it is JavaScript Tuesday. Tuesday is the day where we look at some core aspect of the native language, of JavaScript itself, to stay sharp as JavaScript developers, rather than it's easy to fall back and get lazy on Stack Overflow or libraries or whatever. Make sure that we are good with the language itself. And we're doing that at the moment by looking at the ECMAScript updates since ES6. If you need a little background or detail on the relationship between ECMAScript and JavaScript, check the description for some links. But we are looking today at replaceAll, and this comes to us from ES12 or ECMAScript 2021. It is a prototype method on string. So that means if you're a string, you have the replaceAll method. And the really short version here is that replaceAll is the same as replace. It just does the replacement on the entire string every time it finds it. There's a couple small nuances, and we'll look at a few examples. But the replaceAll method of strings returns a new string, so it does not mutate the original, with all matches of a pattern, that's whatever you give it, replaced by whatever replacement you wanna replace the pattern with. The pattern can be a regex. We're not gonna talk about regexes in detail because that's its own topic, but I will show you an example. And the replacement can be a string or a function. You may not have known you can use a function for that second one to be called for each match. Again, the original string is left unchanged. We'll hop over the example. The syntax, just like replace, this is called on a string, so it will be whatever the string is, dot replaceAll, give it the pattern we're looking for, give it what we want to replace it with. This is pretty much repeat stuff. The description down here, it doesn't mutate it, we already said that, and then it kind of goes over just a little more detail about how it relates to replace. Over to VS Code here, I've got an HTML file with some script tags. Definitely feel free to use Node if you would like to, but let's say we have something like, I always misspell TEH, word TEH, because TEH, H key sticks on my keyboard. This isn't true anymore, but I used to have a keyboard where sure enough, it always misspelled because that H key was always lagging. Okay, maybe we get this from a database, maybe we get this from a user. Right? The user has misspelled something and they want to change it. So we're working with some dynamic data. We can grab the string misspelled, we can call replace on it, we can go looking for TEH, and we can replace it with THE. And I have used replace here, and then I'm going to log both of these variables just to prove to you that it doesn't mutate the original. Come over to the browser and refresh. Okay, so here's the original one. It is all wrong. Here is the new one. It got the first, which is what replace does, but it didn't get the other two. If we update this to replaceAll, come back and refresh, it does exactly what we're hoping for it to. So what is a use case, or what is another use case for this? Well, maybe you have something like, we'll call it private data. And in here, the user, or again, maybe a database has said, my social security number is 123. My social security number, again, is 123. It's 123. We want to replace that 123, sort of redact it, whether it's from the screen or whatever. So we'll do safe data. We're going to grab private data, do exactly the same thing, replaceAll, and we're going to go looking for 123, and we're going to replace it with, I don't know, 3 hashes. If we log safe data here, it will do what we want it to do. Replace, and that is exactly what we want. But that's not terribly useful because the user's social security number is probably not always going to be 123. So that is when a regular expression is going to shine. We put in here 2 slashes, meaning go into regex mode. \d means look for a digit. In brackets, we'll put the number 3, meaning look for 3 consecutive digits. And if we come back over and refresh, we get a nasty type error. And it says you can't call replaceAll with the non-global regular expression. That is in the documentation here under expressions. You get a type error if the regex doesn't have the G flag, meaning come back over and put a G at the end globally. So find all the occasions of this pattern so that we can replace them all. So if we save that, come back over and refresh again, it does what we want it to. Lastly, if we wanted instead of this to do the function, the 2 arguments here I'm going to put in match and the index, and then we will return our 3 hashes. This will do the same thing as what we had before. Match is what we found. This is only ever going to be useful if you're doing a regular expression, because if you've got a string, you know the match is TEH, and so it's pretty easy to make that decision. I guess maybe you'd need the index for some reason. In any case, we're going to do the same thing that we were already doing. So if I refresh this, yeah, we get the exact same result. Well, maybe this is documentation intermingled with the actual user data. So the user's number is 123, and we have in here an example is 456. And then we switch back over. Well, this is going to replace everything, and we don't want it to. We refresh. We've commented out the example, and we need the example to be there so the user can read it. Well, we do that by, in here, we know that 456 is our example, so we can look for if the match, meaning the thing that you found, equals 456, then we're just going to return, you can put 456 or you can put the match because they're the same thing. We want to keep that in there. Otherwise, we're going to mask it line 13. So back over here one more time. That's a way to keep that in there. That's when that function is really useful. If for fun you want to see what the pattern looks like, 1, 2, 3, -4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the pattern for an actual American, and I'll switch over our other one here. This is what a Social Security number format follows. So just for fun, we can do \D3, and then it'll be -D2, close, another \D, and then we're looking for 4. So 3 numbers, -2 numbers, -4 numbers. And if you happen to run across this thing, that is our example. So if that's the match, leave it alone, refresh one more time, and we come out just right. That's pretty much everything. You can do a little bit more reading if you want to. There's some interesting stuff about symbols that we're not going to cover, but it has great coverage. The compatibility goes all the way through Node 15, Chrome back to 85, etc. You should be able to use this with confidence. I will link some other ES videos if you're looking for more updates. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one.